Today we're doing two NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Friday, February 28th. I get started, you guys, there's a link in the description below. Hop into the Discord. But $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. Currently doing a promo right now for first-time members, 20% off your first month. Comes out to like $6 for the first 30 days with the link in the description below using promo code TUFF. So I post all the plays I'm making. Super positive community overall. Everyone in there just trying to help each other cash. But yeah, let's get into it. Massive NBA slate today. Almost every team is playing. A lot of teams on back-to-backs. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. First play I'm looking at here is going to be Tumani Kamara over 26.5 fantasy score against the Brooklyn Nets. Slowly but surely, I think Tumani has become one of the more underrated players in the NBA. It's just what he's doing defensively, playing so many minutes on this Portland team on a nightly basis. It's pretty crazy. Tumani, he plays a shooting guard position here. It's a 220 game total, 2-point spread. Portland's 2-point favorites here, but both these teams, right, should be tanking and have been playing really well as of late. So I'm expecting this game to be super competitive. But Brooklyn is actually really good. I think they might be the best pick and roll ball handler defense in the league, which does allow for spot up shooters to really thrive. And that's kind of what Tumani Kamara does. Also, Ayton, Thibault, and Robert Williams are out this season with Thibault and Robert Williams both off the floor. Tumani averages 34.4 fantasy points per 36 minutes, about 1 point fantasy points per minute, which is a 6.2 point fantasy point increase and a 0.2 points per minute increase per 36 minutes, right? So giving us that upside with both those guys off the floor. Also, Denny Avdia is questionable, and Jeremy Grant is questionable as well. So, I mean, if we see either one of those guys miss this game, it's going to be elite upside for Tumani Kamara because, again, he just plays so many minutes. He plays the most minutes on the team. He's just on the floor a ton, right? He played 32 minutes last game, had 28, but fouled out. That's why he only played 32 minutes. He probably would have played more. But you look at these minute totals for Tumani. I mean, 34, 34, 35, 40, 35, 36, 45, 36, 36, 34, 38, 38. Like he can't really come off the floor. And if we look over on Outlier, again, there's a link in the description below. You can get a 7-day free trial. Over the last 20 games without DeAndre Ayton, right, which is the filter here, you can see here he's over in 12 of 20 games. I think that might be this season. It's got to be this season. 12 of 19 games this season, averaging 30.52 fantasy points over that span. You can see the hit rate. I mean, you take away these games at 26, 26, 26, 25, 26, 25. So the floor for this fantasy score line to me is very high, right? Given that he's literally had 25 plus fantasy points in 19 of 20 games, 18 of 19 games this season without DeAndre Ayton. But even if you take away this filter here and you just kind of look at how he's been playing this season, over in 26 of 57, when he sees 28 plus minutes, over in 25 of 47, when he sees north of 30, which he probably will see, 34 plus minutes, 16 of 27, and he's just been playing really well, right? Last 10, over in 8 of his last 10, averaging 31 fantasy points. He actually faced Brooklyn earlier this season and put up 44 fantasy points against Brooklyn at home, 44, which goes to show the kind of the deficiencies Portland has. I feel like really works due to Tumani's strengths. In that game, he did have 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and shot 4 from 11 from 3. But he took 11 3-point attempts, 11, which is the most 3-point attempts he's taken all season. Giving us that upside again for his scoring because we know the defensive versatility that he does have, right? He's pretty much good for at least 2 steals or blocks. I think he's actually probably favored for 2 steals or blocks probably in this one. I don't know the exact odds, but steals plus blocks, minus 190 or minus 200 for at least 2. When he gets at least 2, the upside for 26.5 fantasy is going to be very high for us here. So I do like this spot for Tumani Kamara in this matchup. Second play, I'm looking at all the way down here. I'm looking at Kawhi at 35.5. I think just too low in this matchup, right? Obviously, LA Battle of LA. Kawhi Leonard has been playing really well as of late. Obviously, he's not playing back to back still, and he's in and out of the lineup. But when he does play, he's super effective. 40 plus fantasy in 3 straight games, playing 32, 33, and 34 minutes. So I think 30 plus minutes is a solid floor for Kawhi here. He's actually faced LA twice this season. And in those 2 games, let's see, hold on. Let me go back and just remove these filters. In those 2 games versus LA this season, 28 and 29, but he only played 24 and 22 minutes. So if you give him, 7, 8 more minutes than what he's played against LA, he's had a floor of 28, 35.5 here. seems very reasonable considering he's gone over in those previous 4 matchups. First LA, obviously all versus LeBron, 56, 39, 60, and 45. Also, Lakers are coming off a back-to-back. The Clippers are not. And we also look at kind of the on-off court stats. Norman Powell is questionable for this game, I believe. Yeah, Norman Powell's questionable. Questionable for Friday. He's missed 5 straight, so there's obviously a chance he can miss this one. And with Norman Powell off the floor this season, Kawhi Leonard is averaging 45.9 fantasy points, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Now, even if we look at, like I said, the head-to-head, 28 and 29 fantasy points for Kawhi in 2 games this season versus the Lakers, only playing 24 and 22 minutes. If we look at this season, when he plays 30-plus minutes, which is what he's going to play tonight, he's over this line in 3 of 5 games, 3 straight, obviously, 40-plus. Last season, though, when he plays 30-plus minutes, over in 42 of 55 games, averaging 43.3 fantasy points in those 55 games when he played 30-plus minutes, right? Say, for instance, he plays closer to 32, 39 of 48, just an elite hit rate. And we have seen forwards recently do pretty well against the Lakers. Miles Bridges, 52, Lauri Markkanen, 47, Miles Bridges again, 45, Kamara, 44.9, Denny Avdija, 44 in the same game, Siakam, 42, Precious Achiuwa, 39.5, Aaron Gordon, 35. So there's just a lot of upside for Kawhi here in what should be a close matchup. 35.5, just a little bit too low for a player of Kawhi's talent. So 2 player props for this video. Please drop a like, check a link in the description below, and as always, let's cash.